Okay, we'll go ahead and get started today. Hello everyone, welcome. My name's Rachel. I'm with the Indiana DNR Community and Urban Forestry Program. Thanks for coming to this webinar about NatureConnect. And I have a script so I don't blabber, so I'll be looking down. So if you're not familiar with our program, we provide financial and technical assistance to communities throughout Indiana to support urban forestry projects and initiatives. Part of outreach, which is a lot of what my job is, includes offering tree stewards workshops, which these are tree care workshops offered to the general public meant to empower participants to become active stewards of the trees in their community. And after attending a workshop, tree stewards are then asked to complete 15 hours of tree-related volunteering, which is hence a motivator for us to explore a partnership with NatureConnect, and we'll kind of explain more about that. But so we are partnering with Davey Resource Group to be able to offer NatureConnect as a platform both to organizations that are looking to promote volunteer events. So whether you are on a tree board, if you are municipal staff, or you just have a volunteer group of some kind that isn't an official 501c3, this is an opportunity for you to be able to post events on our page and help share volunteer opportunities. And then this is also an opportunity for tree stewards to become a volunteer on this site and be able to find urban forestry related volunteer opportunities. So the way this webinar is set up, for the first segment, we're going to be addressing the organizations, the potential partner event coordinators, if you will, who could learn how to use the NatureConnect software to promote events on the DNR Cuff page. And then for the second segment, we'll be addressing the tree stewards to learn how you can utilize NatureConnect to find volunteer opportunities. And afterwards, tree stewards are going to be getting an invitation to actually join NatureConnect. So you might see some kind of email. So be on the lookout for that. We are going to be recording this and putting this on the DNR YouTube channel for future reference. So if anyone you know couldn't make it, you can share that with them throughout the webinar. If you have questions, you can type them in the chat. And then we're also going to be having just a section for questions after each session. So with that, I'll turn it over to Susan Page representing NatureConnect.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We're excited to be working with Racheal and the Community and Urban Forestry Group. One thing that we did, Racheal asked us to do, and we're still in the process of kind of doing it, is separated you guys into regions across the state to make it a little easier for anybody who's posting a project to direct that to people who are at least geographically closer to it. You don't have to do that. You could do it to everybody in your group if you want to across the platform, but that is just an option. So let me share my screen so you can see what I am talking about. Can you see it okay, Racheal?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is the view of somebody who is a partner. So we're starting from that point of view, right, Racheal? And then we're going to move into a volunteer view. So a partner, event coordinator, would have a more sophisticated view. And when you first log in, it's going to show you your dashboard. If you're one of the child accounts here, as you can see, we've set up, it's almost like a parent-child relationship. So the parent is Racheal, and then the three different groups are underneath there, and all their data rolls up to her. So you would see sort of your flash here of what's going on with your group. Over in the admin section, as like I said, we're still moving people over. So into these different smaller groups, it's something that when we do it after the fact, we have to do it manually. So we are adding people over there. Volunteers have permission to come in, explore, read things, look for things, but their permissions are limited. Just so that you're aware, as an admin, your permissions are more sophisticated. So, in the case of you guys, Racheal has given you a partner event organizer permission level, and that allows you to do all the basic volunteer stuff, but you can also add projects and put out project announcements or send out org broadcasts. So I'm going to go to another organization just so that I can kind of show you what it looks like when it's fully fleshed out. So Indiana Audubon is one of our clients on here, and they are having, for instance, a hummingbird festival. So you can see here, if this were your situation, you'd be able to look at all the projects that your organization has. Once you have built a project and you do that over here, you can edit it, you can do all kinds of things. So since this is a live platform, I'm not going to click a new project because I don't have, I can't move through all of the screens. So I'm just going to say I'm editing this, which I'm not actually going to do, but just to show you what is going on. So she has this project open to all the volunteers across the platform. And just so you know, you do have the ability to say only the people in my group can see this project. I don't know if that would ever be applicable. I just wanted to point it out. You should make a really rich description so that people understand what's going on. You can create a project and have anybody in your volunteer group be the actual contact person for the project, and you can have more than one. You could have 10 people if you wanted to. The project can have a specific date and time, or it can be ongoing if it was something that was a repetitive thing that you were doing. You can add specific time slots, and you can do that for a variety of reasons. Maybe you really need to schedule a shift, or maybe you're limiting some event to, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people, and you want to limit it. So you could do that through creating sort of a sign up as well. So I'm just going to leave what she has here going, and then Hummingbird, she put a beautiful, I think that's AI generated, but it's still a beautiful image back there. So she has shifts in this because it's an event. So they need help and they need people to sign up. And you can see if people sign up, it will automatically do what it's doing right now, which is updating and say, okay, capacity is reached. We don't need anybody for that. When you have a project, you can also add stories and announcements. So announcements go out to only the people that have signed up for the project. So if you need to tell everybody, hey, you signed up for this and we said we're going to start at 9, but because it's, torrential downpour, we're not starting until 10. You could do that. When you send out an announcement, it actually becomes an email to them, to the volunteers, and it also shows up in their dashboard as an announcement in their dashboard. You can also write stories and include photographs of an event. Highly recommend that. It's really nice for people to be able to look back and see the impact they're making. It's nice for anybody at a leadership level to be able to show, hey, this it makes it much more dynamic to tell a story if you have, specific details from somebody who attended the event and added a photograph. So that's project creation, and we can do more specific training if you need it. We also have training documents here. When you click on that, it opens up to a long list of training documents. But if you need help, you can also contact the help desk or me. Happy to help you. And we can even do more training if that's something that you need. So anyway, you have these projects that you're entering. Any of the volunteers that have been in your region are going to be listed here. I'm looking at them now. These are all Indiana Audubon. They can be other primary organizations as well. So people have the ability to be part of many organizations on the platform. They may have different permission levels. I'm part of Hoosier River Watch, and I'm just a volunteer there. I'm part of IMN, Indiana Master Naturalist, at Fort Harrison, and I think I have a little slightly expanded permission level there. So you could have people that are really in multiple organizations, including yourself. And the way you see that is here at the top. It will show all the organizations that you're part of. And you could click on one and it would switch you over to that one. And it means if you had a different permission level there, it would completely kick in. So maybe have a higher permission somewhere and then somewhere you're just a volunteer. It will adjust to whatever that is. So that's for event posting. I want to show you, this is the same feature that is
Hey,
over on the wall. Yeah,
Susan, can I butt in real quick?
yes, please do.
And it might be helpful to look at our page and see how that is currently set up. But for right now, we will only have tree stewards as volunteers on this platform. If you have a list of volunteers existing that you would like to invite, we are able to add them on here. So that is an option as well. But right now, if the only volunteers we're going to have are going to be tree stewards.
Okay, very good. So this is back to your page. So far, Racheal has not put projects up here. When she does, they'll be listed in here. On the admin side, if you're a partner event coordinator, I believe those people are able to, they can add users, they can add projects, send out announcements, and org broadcasts. Let me just show you what that is. It's right here. So it's admin. This is kind of where you do a lot of activity over here. Org broadcasts are simply a way to email everyone who's in your group. So if you're in North, South, or Central region, I would also, if you were going to do that, email the primary group as well, because we haven't moved everyone over yet. But this, you just click on type a new broadcast, title, you can put in rich text. In this case, you're selecting, which it's going to. I always send a test email to myself first, just to make sure it looks okay, especially if I'm using rich text or I copy and pasted something in here. You can put a link to the project that you might have just created or the event. And so I usually send a test email first. And then when you're ready to go, you can send it as a broadcast. So just to be clear, two different kinds of ways to communicate. Broadcast goes to everyone in the group. Under a project, you could send out an announcement, and that only goes to people that have signed up for that project.
So org broadcast would be good if you have a new volunteer opportunity that you want to send to people. And yeah, you can send it to the whole group or just, central region or whatever region you're in.
Excellent. So for you personally, if you're on here, you see you have a My Account button. You can go to your account settings, your email preferences, your volunteer profile. I know you guys don't really collect hours, but if you do put in hours, you would see them over there. So that's all your account situation. If you're somebody who is a partner event person, I would say for anyone, I wouldn't change your email that you're receiving until you are really, you've been on the platform for a while, but we do give you the ability to change how many email alerts you're receiving and for what. My advice is not to change any of that right out of the gate, because for the most part, you want to know if a new project showed up or some announcements come out, you want to know that. Your own personal account settings. And I'm just going to mention this too. So a lot of the lists we have are a little bit old. Your name could have changed, or because it was so many volunteers and people on the list, it could have been a spelling typo. So no worries. You can change your own name by coming into your account settings. So for some reason you got married, your name changed, we just made a typo, just come over here and change that, and you can do that. You can also change the email that you're using, where you're getting notifications. Your volunteer profile, you have to click edit to see a lot of the stuff here on the side. But this also gives you the option to decide what you want to show publicly. So do you want to show your email, your phone, your hours logged, your street address? You can decide all of that. We don't want to lock you into showing things you're not comfortable with. You can add biography and credentials and everything like that if you want to do that. And you have to click save to save it. So just wanted to point that out to you guys. The Explore feature is how everyone on the platform is going to find you guys, even if they're not part of your group yet. Sorry, that's moving real slow, which is most likely my internet connection. Okay. Explore is how you look for projects. You can look at other organizations, or you can look for volunteers. So let's say projects. It will recommend projects to people, and it does it based on information about what they're interested in and their where they're located. So people will see if you post a project, they're going to be randomly popping up in people's dashboards, even if they haven't gone out to look for it. It'll show up to say, hey, this is something you might be interested in doing. They can also search if they're trying to search by zip code, or, just find things that are close to them. They could do that, or they can search if they have more information. If they know there's an event going on, they could type in something like tree and see what is happening. So there are some things in here already like that. So they can search just across their organization or the entire platform. And when you put a project in here, they just click on it. They would join it if they want to join it. Then you're able to see all the volunteers. And once you've joined a project, then it'll be right on your dashboard. Everybody has an outward facing homepage as well as you guys. And so Racheal carefully designed her homepage. And Racheal, I just copied what you did into these, so please feel free to change them if you want to. But this is basically what she has put in here. So it tells you her contact information and that information. So you can look at any organization across the platform on here. Do you guys have any questions specific that I might be able to answer at this point?
You can unmute as well.
Do you want me to go to what the volunteer experience looks like, or do you want me to wait on that?
I wonder if you might show all the different organizations that are on there. You have them there, just to see who's on there and active. And then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Hoosier River Watch just started up with us. Well, you guys, of course, Indiana Audubon, Indiana Master Naturalist, are set up with what we call child accounts, which is basically what we did here with you guys as well. So all this stuff rolls up to the leadership role. Indiana Master Naturalists, they have these child accounts, and these are places where classes are taught. So that's the way they set it up. And there's probably like 30 some odd of those on here. We also have Kentucky Master Naturalist recently came on this year. they're starting to divide. So now we've got a Boone County chapter. We've got pollinator pathways. Naturally, Bardstown is also in Kentucky. We just brought on Utah master naturalists, and they're just getting going. There's South Bend Elkhart Bird Alliance. Spread Nature Center is in Michigan. And here's some of the pollinator pathways. So we have a couple more organizations that we're in flux of coming on that you could see here in the next few weeks. One of them's in Florida. So that could happen, but we've actually done an intentional pause just for a few months because we're going through and adding some more developmental features to the platform. And we want to make sure that we get all of that locked down before we actually are in the middle of trying to onboard new organizations. So one of those things I'll tell you about, it will be the next thing up, is in the projects tab. There will be another tab here that says initiatives. And that is a way for organizations, different groups to work together on a bigger initiative. So maybe Hoosier River Watch, a tree example. I mean, it could be many different organizations have a goal of planting X number of trees, in a certain 3-month push. Maybe you're doing something like that. And so it's, if you're starting an initiative, you would be able to reach out to other organizations that might be able to actually do that as well. I mean, Indiana Master Naturalist chapters could be part of something like that, where they're planting a certain amount of trees. So on an initiatives tab, it would list all the initiatives just like projects. And you would click on that and you could see, okay, these 5 organizations are all working together on this bigger goal. So they all have projects in here that are contributing to whatever the larger goal is. And it'll have progress on it so you can see where that's going. And it can be people from across states, it can be however the project or initiative is defined. So that is coming. Nobody will make you part of an initiative without, if you're a partner event leadership person, they're not going to, they can't do it without your permission. So you don't have to worry about that. It's not like they can say, oh, this project would be really good as part of this initiative and just grab it and throw it under that. That's not how it will work. It will require your active input to be putting your project into an initiative. Or if you start one, you can't go grab them. You actually have to, communicate with people and say, hey, we're trying to get to this big goal. Are you, you seem like you would be a really good fit. Do you want to create a project for this? Do you have members who would be interested in helping us get to this goal? So that's coming. We've just heard from a lot of nonprofits out there and government agencies that, they want to get out of their silo. And a lot of times they work with a lot of different partners across our region. So this just will make it easier for people to be able to connect. And there will, yes, go ahead.
Well, you can finish your thought. I have 2 more questions.
Yeah, there will be a way to add organizations to be part of an initiative who aren't on the platform too. Just, it's kind of hard to explain, but they would be coming on basically as guest. So it would allow you to still work with some partners that you already have, even if they're not members on the platform. So there will be a way to do that. And once we have the initiatives feature up here, we'll roll that out with a lot of explanation around how it works. Go ahead.
So first, what should an organization do if they're interested in being a event coordinator on the DNR CUF page?
Yeah. Do you want them to contact you first? It seems like they should, or they can contact me.
Yeah. Okay. So say they contact me and then I tell you,
Yeah.
what's the process?
Yeah. So over here, and you could do this yourself. So if they're already on the platform, you would just look them up and bring them up in here. If they're in as a volunteer, then you just have to click edit and change their permission level right here. to partner event organizer. Simple as that. And then click update. And then they have that updated permission. If they're
Yeah,
not
but most
on the
of them are
platform,
not going to be, on the
okay,
platform.
so it just would be adding a new user. But if you're not comfortable
Okay, so
doing that,
I will do that. Okay.
yeah, you
So,
can do
all
that.
right. I needed that clarification. So, anyone who would like to have their volunteer events on NatureConnect should email me and or reply in the chat, and I will set you up as an event organizer. So that's kind of a thing. Also, if you can explain a little bit about the analytics, that would be great. And then we have a
Yeah,
question from Goshen in the chat.
sure. So our analytics, and I should have started out by telling you a little bit about us. I apologize. I'll just go backward really fast. We are also a nonprofit. We are just entering year 6, which sounds old, but it's not. We've only had this actual platform going for about a year and a half. We had what you'd call a minimally viable platform going for another year where we were learning, it was intentionally a space where we could learn what we needed. And Indiana Master Naturalists volunteered to be our guinea pigs for that. So we're actually on the young side right now. So our reports have a lot of information in them, but they're not that slick at this point. And trust me, this is our version 1 of these reports. We're actually going to build out something that's going to be really cool here. That will allow you to kind of custom design things in a really easy way. So this is our version 1. If you wanted to look at, you can pick all time, date range, whatever you want to do. Let's just do all time. It is going to give you really everything you ever wanted to know about a volunteer. And usually if I'm trying to look at this report, I'm looking for something specific. So I might export it to an Excel spreadsheet so that I can just filter as I want to filter. But, it lists their names, their emails, if they put their address in. This is all your group, which they haven't actually been invited yet. So you wouldn't have any data in here, but it would show if they'd entered any hours. You can actually see if they've ever logged in before, the last time they added hours, or the last project that they joined, and if they're active or not. So you can also see that they haven't been invited. I believe that's in here. It's not actually. So you can reduce the columns. So this is not very, it's not the most sophisticated thing in the world. But if you were, let's say I just wanted to see if they were, I just wanted to see their activity level. I could reduce these columns. I could take them out so that I could just see what I wanted to look at, like right here, their name and the last time they logged in. So you can do that and you can put the columns back in, or you can export it to an Excel spreadsheet. The time entry probably isn't going to apply as much for you guys, but if you run this report, and I won't do it just because actually you guys don't really have any data in there yet, but it's going to say every single time anyone added hours to NatureConnect for your organization. So it will be every line. If Racheal added hours 10 different times, it's going to show 10 different lines every time she entered data. So it's a lot of detail. The project report gives you the big overview information data on the project. How many people volunteered for it, how many hours were logged into it, sort of big points of data for that. This is going to become really cool. And I don't know if it'll get done by the end of the year, but it's the next thing on the development cycle once we get that initiatives thing launched. So we're pretty excited about what that's going to be. And this
Okay,
gives you,
Susan. Oh, are you?
yes, go
Sorry,
ahead.
we have several questions.
Sure thing.
So, first, I guess I'll let Anne unmute and ask your question. If you're still there, Anne. maybe she went somewhere. So, anyways, okay, we'll move to the chat. So Melanie is asking, so she is with Goshen Environmental Resilience Department. There's some projects already in Elkhart County Indiana Master Naturalists. Since they didn't have a page, would it make sense to get rid of those projects and recreate them through this organization instead?
Yes, so that's a great question, and we've come into that already a couple of times. We have projects that involved Hoosier River Watch before they become a client. Now obviously we want it to all go through them. So the best way to handle it is we need to identify the projects. We usually try and find out who's signed up to be volunteers. And then we can close them by ending them, like making their end date be yesterday. And then letting the people that signed up for the project already know there's a new replacement project. Here is the link to be able to go sign up for that. So, I mean, it's better because then, the data is staying right in here for, community and urban forestry, as opposed to not seeing that out there. So that is what we've done in the past. There's a couple exceptions. Dylan Allison at Hoosier River Watch, he has a strong partnership with Carmel Clay Park and Rec. They run classes, and he is just letting them keep those projects for their classes there. He doesn't really care, but everything else we sort of shut down and moved into Hoosier River Watch. And if you need any help with that, let me know, which you probably would.
Yeah.
That I can, if you can identify what the projects are, that'd be amazing. And then I can reach out to the other people to, if we create a new project or you create a new project, then we can make sure that the other people are being notified, hey, this is going away, but we're replacing it.
Yeah, so just contact Susan, Melanie. Jane Young asks, is there a different process for joining as an individual or an organization?
Yeah, so this is an org-to-org platform. You can't join as an individual unless you're part of one of the organizations. So that's just the way we're set up. So you need to be part of any of the organizations on here. And that, like I said, we just took a little pause here to do some development things. But I mean, it was getting very hectic. We have so many organizations that I think will be coming on here. So hopefully if it's one that you're interested, you could ask them to join. Otherwise, obviously you're part of this organization, so you get access as
yeah, I was going to say
a volunteer. Yeah.
Urban and community forestry, we're opening the nets wide. So the only, I guess, limit is if it's a 501c3, you're requesting that they get their own account.
It just depends on, yes. So if they can't be they can be in your region and post a project. They can't add their own volunteers. So that's really the difference. If you're your own, so if Carmel Clay is on here on our platform right now as an IMN class host, which means the only volunteers they have listed on our platform are all IMNs, people who went through the Indiana Master Naturalist program. It's not all of their volunteers. So they have other volunteers that they did not add. They would have to come on as an actual customer to be able to add all of their volunteers. So if you're a 501c3 in the environmental field and you want to be like Racheal, you want to be your own org where you add your own volunteers and just develop everything out yourself, then we can,
whatever we get, I guess.
You could do that. Or if you're just going to be one of her people who post a project and you're not going to add your own, whole volunteer list, then that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that clarification I think was needed. So Jane, let me know if you have any other follow-up questions. And we're coming up on 38, so one more question, and then if you have more questions, put them in the chat, we can get to you, but we'll have to transition to talking to the tree stewards here. But
Yeah.
one more question. If you're hoping to use this platform to record volunteer hours for the year, does the volunteer have to put in their hours, or can we as the organizer add the hours after the fact?
Yeah, so we're basically set up right now where the volunteer has to add the hours. And I will also tell you that you can use this on your phone and you can add hours on your phone and look for projects or sign up for shifts. We're talking about, it's something, again, it's on our development backlog that an admin could go in and sign up for somebody or add hours. In the case where we have volunteers sometimes who are older, who for whatever reason they don't want to do it, then it could be that way. Other people who are like South Bend Elkhart, they are not requiring volunteers to enter hours. So they may just create a kind of persona for something that they can just add hours and say, for an event and just add hours as the admin, if you know what I'm saying. So it wouldn't be for the individual, it'd be like a lump of hours they're adding into an event just because they kept track, they know what it is. So right now, the volunteer has to add their hours. So I'm going to switch to the tree stewards.
Yeah. And
Okay.
really quick, I just want to sorry, I keep cutting you off, but
No.
for if you now, want to host your own events and post them on here, please either email me or indicate in the chat, and then I can get you set up. But yes, so now we are officially going over to the tree steward side. So if you are a tree steward and you want to know how you can become a volunteer on this site and find hours, this is the second part of the webinar. So I'll let you go, Susan.
Yeah, thank you. So you should get an invitation because Rachel's going to be sending those out within the next, I don't know, but shortly, couple of days or so. She will be sending out the invitations that will come to the email. Now, it's possible, again, just, if you're on here, the email she has for you is probably correct. But if you know somebody that didn't get an email invitation or somehow it got jammed into your junk file or something, all you have to do is let us know and we can send out something else for you. So we're looking at the volunteer view now. So just showing you in contrast, this is the admin, this is the volunteer. And I'm a volunteer. I'm an Indiana Master Naturalist and I belong to Hoosier River Watch. So this is what my impact page looks like. I have an extra tab because I am allowed to create projects for Hoosier River Watch. So that's why that's on there. If you were just a normal volunteer with no additional permissions, it would just say my impact or explore. So you can see if I've joined a project, the projects live right on here. Now you don't have to log hours. That hasn't been done before. It's nice if you do. It helps to, for organizations to understand how much time people are working. So in that case, you would just open, if you've joined the project, you would open it and you can log their hours. So this is actually project is over. So let me go backwards again. So you just click the log hours button and it opens up and you can put in the service state and so on. You can upload photographs if you want to. If you don't have a project, you can log hours independently by clicking this button here and going down to the bottom where it says log independent hours. Now, it just means you have to fill out a whole lot more stuff in here. So we don't encourage people to do this, and we need all of this data. So that's why we asked you to fill it all out. Unless it's just a really one-off thing that you were doing. Otherwise, ask someone to create a project that, there's probably more people that need to also enter hours. Again, if you're more than one organization on the platform, it's going to give you options. So I'm in here at Hoosier River Watch. Let's see if I go over to Fort Harrison. See how that projects tab disappeared? So I don't have permission in Fort Harrison to add projects. I only do on Hoosier River Watch. So depending on what permission you have and what organization, whenever you switch, it'll switch. So my account is the same that I showed you on the other side with your account settings, and you look at your hours and export them, your volunteer profile, all of that's the same. So I'll just show you, if you sign up, if you create some sort of an event, the event partner people, and it is an event that would require shifts, the first thing you would want to do, and I'm going to just show you how this works from here. Let's see. I happen to know, unless it's already passed, no. Surratt Nature Center in Benton Harbor, they have a project that has shifts in it. So this is what happens if I'm a volunteer and I come to a project and they've required shifts, it has shifts in here. If I click on join, I immediately get this pop up, which is showing me, hey, you really can't join this project unless you sign up for a shift. So if for whatever reason they might have shifts, maybe you have a welcome desk if you're having an event, maybe you have somebody checking off all the people that are coming there, whatever kinds of jobs you wanted to do, you could do that. So I have now signed up for this. If I'll show you, actually, let me just go to shifts really fast. I should have done this before. I'm going to sign up for something so I can show you how easy it is to get out of it. So if I come back to my dashboard, if you happen to sign up for something that has a shift, you can see it's right here. Now it's on the top of my dashboard to remind me. But I can click on it and I can remove myself, which I'm going to do because I'm not going to Michigan to help them. And then over here, I'm going to go back to their project and I want to get out of it. I just click on it to go back there. You can see I'm part of it because it says log hours. If I just click on the three dots, and this is universal across our platform, when there's three dots, that means you can do something. I'm going to leave their project because I, as lovely as it is, I live too far away. So I just wanted to show you that on both sides. You know, as a volunteer, you're free to volunteer for anything that you want on the platform. Of course, you know, we want you to volunteer for the tree program, but you are free to explore and look at anything that you want. You can also explore other organizations. If you click on one of these, I'll just use Indiana Audubon again. And Racheal has the same thing. Everybody has a homepage. So it tells you what projects they have open, if they have any stories, if they have a gallery, if they've added photographs, their website, social media, all of that stuff. So you can explore other organizations. And you can also explore other volunteers. So it's pretty straightforward. Pretty easy to use. It's a lot of fun. One thing that will be coming as well is a way to explore content. So we've been talking about the fact that you can write stories for projects. We're going to expand that so you can just write stories about the organization. And it'll be another square down here where you could click on it and just explore content that people have agreed to share across the platform. So it could be anything. I mean, it could be a story about something that happened. It could be, you know, best practice, how to do something, how you want to share knowledge about how to do something. We have people on here who do amazing fundraising. Just think of crazy ways to do fundraising that is probably be helpful to share to other organizations. One of our groups, who is in Kentucky, he just started a nonprofit. It's called Naturally Bardstown. So they have a property that they purchased this land. They started a nonprofit. They needed to create a bridge over a trail. And so they just started. They don't really have any money. And they were able to buy a flatbed tractor trailer flatbed thing on Facebook Marketplace for like $600. And then the Parks Department of Bardstown helped them move that into place and put it across a ravine so that their trail system was, able to work. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of cool ideas and a lot of things that people do, and we'd really like to be the place where you could come and find things like that. And yeah. So does anyone have any questions? The volunteer side also has training, and it depends on what you're doing. So logged in as a volunteer, if I click on the training documents, they're all the ones that are really designated for volunteers. If you're on the admin side, then they're going to show you the admin ones, but it does give you the ability to flip over to the volunteer side. So it's all really straightforward, pretty easy to use, I think. But any questions about what it'll look like when you're a volunteer on here? One thing I just want to show you, I forgot to point this out, is once you know that Racheal has projects, maybe she'll send out a org broadcast to let you know, hey, or that other event partners have put projects up. You will know that. If for some reason you got it and maybe you delete the email or something like that, it should be on your My Impact page. But if you come to explore projects, you can click just on My Organization. Oh, that shouldn't happen. You could click on My Organization and it's only going to show you projects that are in that group. In my case, it's going to be Fort Harrison that would pop up here. So you can do that by filtering that way as well.
We have a question. How
Yeah.
do you log into the site, and is there passwords?
Yes, there are. So this is what it looks like when you get an invitation. You'll get an invitation to your email and it says, I forgot what it said. I wish I had one up. I should. But it says something like you've been invited to join NatureConnect, I believe is what it says in the subject line. So when you get that, it's going to say, this is the email. It'll have a link to here. This is where you're going to go to log in, and it will have a temporary password. And so when you first come, it'll ask you to put in your email and your temporary password, and then it'll immediately go to another screen where it says now create a permanent password. So you'll create that. You can click the Remember Me button after you create your permanent password. I'm lazy and older, so I use that all the time because I I should probably fear more, but I don't. So I usually just click Remember Me and then it remembers me when I come back to the website. So you can do that. If you're not comfortable with that, then it means you just put in your email and password each time. So that's what it will look like when you come here to log in. I would also strongly say bookmark it. We used to be called 3D Nature Connect, and we're actually called NatureConnect now. I know Indiana Audubon has a link that comes up sometimes when you search. We redirected from our old website here now, but I would just bookmark it. It makes life a little bit easier if you're not at a work address and you're able to do that. So that's where you are going to log in.
Awesome. Any other questions? Okay, well that was like speed round of the software. And so if you have any questions, if something is confusing, please do reach out to me. And I'll tag Susan if there's like a question I'm not sure about. So for the tree stewards, you'll get a invite to your email and probably in the next couple days, and check your junk if you don't get anything. And then if you are an organizer, just let me know if you would like to put your volunteer events on, and I'll give those permissions to you, and we can start offering events and promoting for urban forestry. So very thankful for Davey Resource Group for helping us get this, and really hoping to have this be a resource and for the future of promoting urban forestry events throughout Indiana. So, do you have anything else to add, Susan?
I don't. We're really, really excited for you guys to be here and get activated and excited to see, what you guys put out there and how we can help you grow and meet your mission. I mean, we think of you guys as partners, honestly. We're not like some big software company. We're really small and we, you know, consider all of this as strong relationship building. We want to be here to support the work that you're doing. So we're not doing it to make money. So anyway, if you have any questions, you need anything, um, always feel free to contact me. Obviously, you're going to go through Racheal, but I can help you with any technology problems.
Yep. Well, thanks everyone for coming to the webinar, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Racheal.